Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again with another edition of Haute Residence, Haute Living Game Changers. I'm Eric Haas, Director, Haute Living, Haute Residence. We have a great cast today, again, all-star panels, talking about everything that's going on with real estate and luxury real estate with COVID. It's been a kind of a crazy year or 2 years, and everything's been really, really strong for the most part, and things are getting better and better. So it's an exciting time right now for luxury real estate. We have three amazing panelists on with us right now that I'd love to introduce. First of all, Mark Peterson from out west. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Mark is with another partner of ours as well, Dana, who's been on before, who's terrific. I know, Mark, you're born and raised in your area of Carmel and Pebble Beach, the Monterey Peninsula. I know you guys have been #1 and top 5 in your area for a very long time with Compass. And we're really excited to hear how things are going. I'm sure the market is red hot right now, and we look forward to your insight. And I know we talked to Dana about 3 months ago, so things have changed a little bit as we get into the new year. So we look forward to your insight. Thanks so much again.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Is there a background noise, or is it just me?
Somebody's drilling.
Somebody has a background noise, right?
Not me.
Do you guys hear it though?
I do.
think it's Alvaro. I think it's Alvaro.
It's Alvaro.
I'll mute myself. It's Alvaro. See, I called it right.
No, but look, it's done.
What do you have?
Alvaro, you're stupid too.
What do you have? Like a drill going on in the background?
No, you know what's funny? They're actually in the balcony, like doing some stuff right now. Like, you need to start right now, right when this is starting. So, anyways, I'll put myself on mute, but they just finished, I guess. So, anyways.
Okay, all right, no worries. Yeah, put it on mute unless we're talking, because I think it sounds loud right now. But
okay, good.
It sounds better now for some reason when you're talking. All good.
Perfect.
But we might as well introduce you now while we have you on. We're with Mr. James Bond himself, Mr. International Man of Mystery, Alvaro Nuñez, Super Luxury Group. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you are a leader in South Florida and globally as well, with a very high level clientele. And we wanted to have you on again. We talked to you about 3 months ago. I know it's a new year here, and things are popping down here in South Florida. And I know you're also someone that does international business as well. So looking forward to your insight. And the question for you is, where are you right now? Are you in South Florida, or are you traveling again?
No. Well, thank you so much for the kind introduction. You're always very nice, and I'm very happy to be here with you all today. And I'm here in Miami. I mean, come on, it's a great spot to be these days.
Yeah, you're here with all the New Yorkers.
Exactly. Well, and more people are coming in here, so we're making a big family in Miami.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. We'll come back around to you. Hopefully, they don't blow your walls down in the meantime with the construction that's going on or whatever else. But yeah, it makes sense. Miami does have, everywhere I go, there's construction. I'm in Brickell, and I mean, you know, I live right next to the Aston Martin building. There's cranes up everywhere, man. Yeah. Miami's definitely growing fast. Right now, no doubt about that. Right? True. Obviously, right where your walls are right now.
There you go.
We also have Leslie Modell. So we have actually all the major areas covered. We got Northern Cali, we got South Florida, and then we got New York. Also, Leslie Modell, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate having you on. We know Leslie's been a top 10 agent for Sotheby's on the East Side Manhattan in 2019, and I'm sure 2020 as well.
Yep, 22.
Okay, awesome. Congratulations again on much success. I know it was a challenging year last year for everyone, especially in New York City. I'm sure it was more challenging for you than most. So, and you're looking great.
Thank you.
You got through it. And you said everything we had you on 3 months ago was a little more challenging. I was talking to you earlier a little bit. It sounds like things are on the up and up, and it's looking really strong besides the snowstorm.
Exactly. Well, that's over now too.
That's over now too. Besides the groundhog shadow, which hopefully that doesn't come into play. But you predict, Leslie Modell, you predict an early spring.
I do. And lots of traffic in New York.
Awesome.
Lots of motivated buyers.
I don't think anyone's ever worried about New York. New York will always bounce back. It's just a matter of how quickly, and usually it's very, very quickly. So I don't think this is going to be going on much longer. It sounds like it's already on the up and up. So we look forward to talking to you about that today as well. So thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
So we'll start with Mark. Mark, thanks again for joining us. How is everything going right now? As we hit, I guess, early springtime coming up soon, how's everything going with regards to Northern California, specifically Carmel and Pebble Beach and the Monterey Peninsula area, with regards to luxury real estate, and moving forward, what do you see going on now with COVID and everything else?
Yeah, no, thank you for having us today. Yeah, in Carmel and Pebble Beach, and we're about an hour and a half to 2 hours south of the Bay Area, San Francisco. So we've really benefited. We've always been a kind of resort or second home community. About 40% of our transactions involved second homes. We end up having, a connection to the Bay Area quite a bit. We do have buyers from whether New York or Florida or different areas of California. But we really just like you see the stories around the country, we really are having a little bit of inventory squeeze right now. And while there's certainly homes always on the market for sale, it's just always buyers can't quite find exactly what they want for that price. So we're really looking to work with our buyers and figure out what are their priorities. It is a great market to buy right now still when you look at, from a macroeconomic perspective, but then actually when you look at for a seller, we can't envision anything getting better in like 18 months from now when you look out in the future. So we're really trying to work with our clients to figure out what's going to be the best fit for them now, and looking, 18 months out. I think it's a great time for both buyers and sellers.
So there's an inventory issue, it sounds like. Is that also a factor of people being timid to put their house on the market during COVID and having people doing walkthroughs and things like that too?
Yeah, we've early on, in California, we were one of the first, states, and then from
I remember that.
regulation as far as realtors go, we really had the clamp down. We were virtual very early. We still are not able to do open houses. Everything is by appointment. There is disclosures involved where we have to actually engage with every person coming through the house to take a look at it. It does present some challenges, and that, we are sensitive to certain age groups and categories for people, if their house is on the market, not wanting people to come through. It does, but the benefit is as a realtor and as a profession, as an industry, we're able really to vet and screen through who is coming to the house. Are they really ready to buy? Are they in a position to purchase? We're not just at a stage where we're evaluating. We really need people that are ready to make a move.
Yeah, because I feel like if people are able to make great money right now on their properties, they would normally do it. But it seems like people are holding back a little bit in a lot of the markets like yours. I do remember when COVID first started, I think San Francisco was the first area that had it in the whole country, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember you guys were the first ones, your area, Northern Cali, at the beginning of it, back about a year ago, before everyone else.
Correct.
Yeah. So how is it now numbers wise compared to everyone else? Are you guys getting a little, I know California just reopened recently, which is great.
Yeah, so from a health perspective, reopening for us means we're outdoor dining is available. So we're still not indoors, shops are available, but it's still scaled back quite a bit. I think one of the events, our area is really dependent on hospitality. That's our number 2 industry. You'll know Pebble Beach from golf, and actually this week as the AT&T National Pro-Am, which is a big tourism weekend for us. You'll see a lot televised here at Pebble Beach. It's interesting that the area decided to not have celebrities this year and not have a gallery for the golf tournament. And so it really will, the hospitality industry, it's hurting right now, but as we talk about spring and reopening, it's actually going to be probably a good thing that people see, okay, well, this is a community that's really concerned and really good about safety. That's a place I feel safe going here this weekend. So it's going to be beneficial. But look for us this weekend. You'll see beautiful pictures of the Monterey Peninsula all over television. Yeah, no,
I'm a huge sports fan, and I know Pebble Beach is a legendary area for golf courses. If I'm not mistaken, one of the top 10 in the world a lot of times with regards to golf courses. And I've watched many tournaments as well. So I do feel like I know it's a great area. I haven't been there myself. And I know Clint Eastwood was the mayor, of course, of Carmel. But I guess I feel like Pebble Beach is more of an international, when people do a Google search, they know Pebble Beach more than Carmel, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's more of a general, more well-known area, even though they're both very similar gorgeous areas.
Yeah, correct. I mean, they're neighbors, so you
Yeah.
go out of one or into the other,
Yeah.
and it's from Pebble Beach Golf Course, you're looking at Carmel Beach, and so they're just different properties. Carmel by the Sea, where Clint Eastwood was mayor, is traditionally like a little smaller town. 4,000 square foot lots are standard, so we have 1,600 square foot houses. Where we go to Pebble Beach is known for the international, golf courses, more estates, larger properties, acre. It's a much different thing, but they both attract different types of people, and it's just the whole area and the richness of nature, golf course, culture. It's great.
And Clint Eastwood's son Scott Eastwood was on our cover a couple years ago.
Yep.
So yeah, he was on the cover of Haute Living, but I know he's
Yeah.
had a great career himself. Maybe not quite as well as Clint, who's the ultimate legend of all legends, but but he still made a great career as well. And who's the basketball team that you guys root for? I'm going to guess the Golden State Warriors, but is that who you root for?
Yeah, it's definitely
Not the
Warriors.
Lakers, right? What's that?
It's definitely Golden State Warriors
Okay.
territory.
Steph Curry's lighting up again as always. That guy's
Yeah.
a pro. So let's kick it over to Alvaro and check in with him. I know last time we talked with you, things were going really well, and you were traveling a little bit. How's everything going down here in South Florida right now with regards to the real estate market? And I know we talked a little bit about it. Is there inventory issues down here? And how's everything going? And how do you see it moving forward this year as we head into the new year and beyond?
Well, very happy to be here. And of course, the market in Miami has been spectacular. I mean, we've been one of the lucky destinations when it comes to what is going on. Business as usual, more people actually coming into Miami. It's becoming the most desirable place, if not one of the top places to be. And we've seen a huge demand of people coming down, just not to rent, but to buy. So the demand obviously has been increasing. And what at the beginning of the pandemic seemed to be a huge demand for single family homes, now we're starting to see transitioning to a condo, kind of the higher demand. And this is a good thing because when it comes to the inventory, we were seeing a little bit of a difficulty, because neighborhoods such as North Bay Row, where the demand started to be so high, a lot of off-market deals were taking place and a lot of relationship building with owners that, we were indicating that it would be a good time to sell. It was still not enough for the amount of buyers that were coming into town, which is amazing. But one of the difficulties was to find that inventory. Now, when it comes to the condos, we are now starting to see that the big businesses are coming down here. So the employees and the families are shifting as well. And therefore, the buildings are opening up, condos, especially in the beach, Sunny Isle, we're starting to see huge demand. And as you mentioned, with the new buildings and developments that we're experiencing here in Miami, it seems like 2021 is going to be continue growing, huge demand, and let's keep it rolling.
Where are you finding people coming from in terms of buyers? Are you seeing any, obviously New York, any other areas jump out to you with people that are coming down this way?
I was surprised to see higher demand now from Los Angeles. Before, obviously, was the New Yorkers and, the whole Northeast. But now we're starting to see a lot of people from the West and more internationals are coming in here. I'm currently working with a lot of individuals from the UK as things are not looking too good over there. They're starting to transition in here and they're making this not their secondary home, but now even thinking about making their home based here.
Interesting. One thing we've noticed is there's been a lot of celebrities lately that have been buying properties down in South Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see any reason why there've been more celebrities lately than before coming this way? Is there any reason for that?
Well, I mean, come on, everybody wants to have a great lifestyle. Celebrities want to be in the scene, and those that don't want to be in the scene, they still want to be in a place where they can enjoy their life. Miami's open. It's not like other good or amazing destinations like Los Angeles, right here, right now, it's where everything is moving. People love it. They're coming in here to stay. And it seems like when somebody's buying, celebrities hit the news and everybody else starts to look into it. And it's like the domino effect. So we'll keep it coming.
Yeah, Yeah, no, absolutely. Tom Brady, who just won the Super Bowl, I think just bought a place recently down here.
Indian Creek. Yeah, no. I mean, Julio
Yeah.
Iglesias started selling all the state over there, and celebrities started to come in here, and yeah, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, awesome. So let's go back over to Leslie Modell in cold, snowy New York City. Is the snow, when did the snow stop? How long ago did the storm happen?
Let's see. So the first storm was probably a week or so ago, and that was the big one. And then we had a little flurry after that, but there's still snow on my terrace, so I can't go out, which is a complete bummer.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, also it gets icy on the stairs. You know, the ice gets on the staircase when that's the one thing that you wear your heels. You got to worry about that.
No, those went south.
So how many, what's a big storm now? How many inches? 10, 12?
We had over 10
Wow.
originally, but the last one was just a couple of inches. I think maybe 2, 3. And
Why
you
is it I always feel like
getting rid of all this snow and getting the streets moving again. And
Why
don't
is it
forget,
always-
we now have restaurants in the street.
Oh, wow. Restaurants outside?
Well, we have all these restaurants that, we have just now starting indoor dining on the 14th, but we've had no indoor dining at all.
People are eating outside right now? Oh my God.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Woo! You're looking at a person that did and does.
What do you
ate lunch
wear?
outside.
What are you wearing when you eat outside? Like how many blankets are you wearing?
You wear coat, big fur boots, double layers. Hey, listen, we are New York tough.
Yeah, no, I get that. No wonder so many New Yorkers are down here right now. I will tell you this, on the other side of it, in South Florida in the summertime, we were not allowed to eat inside.
Yeah.
And it was 120 degrees and 100% humidity. It was, so I don't know, I almost would rather have the cold, but I don't know, you know, I'd rather be in the cold than the 150 degrees melt.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Because you can wear enough layers, but when it's that hot, there's nothing to do. There's no options, you know?
And also, they put together, one thing about New York, they always come up with such fantastic ideas. They've literally built little houses outside that are heated. And they line up and down side streets, main streets.
Oh yeah, so it's warmer.
It's much warmer. It's not as cold as you think.
Yeah, because New York, always, I feel like whenever I visit, when you walk through the buildings, the wind, you get these wind tunnels. It's colder than they say it is. You think it's 20, it feels like 20 below because there's the wind tunnels there. You know what I'm saying? I'm from DC, but from visiting.
Here's the upside of New York. Like we're hitting into spring soon. So we're morphing from February, March into beautiful weather.
Yes, no, absolutely. And that's the best time of year in New York is always a spring, when that first nice day when it gets to be 50 or 60, everyone's in a good mood. And, the first day of spring in the Northeast is always amazing. Yeah. Everyone's happy.
So, things are picking up, Eric. Things are picking up.
Yeah. So tell us about that, because we talked to you a few months ago, and obviously it was a challenging time, and it still is a challenging time, but it sounds like things are on the up and up. Tell us about how things are getting better right now for New York City.
I think that the initial threat of COVID made many people nervous and wary of being in a city like New York. And so you've had your first flood of people leaving to go to Los Angeles, to go to Florida, et cetera. And they've been gone several months. Now that they see that we're all still here, we're all still okay, we're going to come out the other end in a very positive way. The vaccines are here and people are getting vaccinated, and it's bringing the buyers back to the city. And me personally, I've had an extremely active first quarter in New York. I'm seeing buyers from all markets and from 3 million and under, with first-time homeowners trying to get into this really opportunistic buying that we're in right now in New York. And then of course, the higher levels over 4 million are doing very well as well.
Well, it's got to be certainly a great time to buy in New York. If you're trying to get into the city, you're probably not going to get deals like that in a year or two, I would guess.
Absolutely not. I think that right now is the time to buy. Yeah. I've been telling all my buyers that have been on the sidelines that you have to get in. Yeah. And people tend to like to buy when everyone else is buying. It gives them a feeling of comfort, but that's not when to buy. When to buy is now, when the prices are low, and they are definitely moving up.
Now when everyone figures it out next year.
Well, you'd think they'd figure it out by now. We've been through a lot of downturns. So, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. After every downturn, it went right back up again.
Yeah.
And New York is getting back into its groove. We're going to get the vaccine. The restaurants will be opening. We're hitting the spring market. Interest rates are very, very low and will probably stay low for some time. And I think the power to buy is now. And I've been very successful getting buyers off the sidelines and getting very good pricing for my sellers.
Where are you seeing people relocate from, or where are you seeing the calls come in outside of New York right now?
To go elsewhere?
For you, yeah. Any other areas that are different than normal that maybe people, or is it just people that are looking for great investments right now that you're talking with?
I mean, I think what's happened, all of the suburbs, in Westchester, New Jersey, Long Island, I mean, they're all benefiting from this because everybody's been fleeing to go there, keeping their homes in New York. And then, of course, Florida, a lot of people have gone to Florida to purchase. And of course, LA, I think a little bit less at this point in time.
Yeah.
But certainly in Florida.
Yeah. I can picture it though. I can see the springtime, the weather getting nice, people are getting the vaccine, people build confidence, especially when people get to go back to their offices. I think that's really when you're going to see a boom.
Exactly.
Once the people are back on the subways and it's vibrant again like that, which it's starting to.
And theater opens up and all these activities open up and people can congregate a little bit more. I think that will make people come back.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a little bit of that now. The streets are much more crowded today than they were the same time, let's say 6-7 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
let's hope everything continues to get in control with the COVID, the vaccine and everything else. So it seems like things are on the up and up.
I'm feeling very optimistic.
Yeah. Now it's for the snow though. We can't guarantee anything there.
No, but we just wear good snow boots.
You guys handle it well though, man. In New York City, it's like 2 feet of snow. People are at the office the next day.
Oh, absolutely. I was doing
crazy. Wall Street doesn't close.
What's a little snow?
I'm from DC. Obama, when his first month in office, he's like, you guys, I'm from Chicago. They shut the whole city down for an inch of snow.
That's true.
No, and he's like, you guys are jokes. I'm from Chicago. It's an inch of snow and you close for 3 days.
It's true.
New York isn't like DC. DC's got a Southern mentality, even though it's a Northern town. It's weird.
Yeah, we're ready to go every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially in the real estate business.
No snow down here in South Florida though, so come on down and visit us.
Soon.
The tanning index is good. All right, back over to Alvaro. I'm sorry, no, back over to Mark. I apologize. Back over to Mark. We're going back to you next, Alvaro. We're going back to you after that. Mark, I know that California's always been a very big state for job opportunities and for universities, and you've had a lot of people coming to the state for those reasons. I know that there's been a little bit of challenge, I think, with COVID. I guess Silicon Valley, some people have left and that maybe now they're staying. I don't really know. So I guess the question is, what's the situation with those types of people, and what's your prognosis moving forward with that?
Sure. So there's kind of a couple things there. So first, when you look at the headlines, there certainly has been early on, maybe one of the earlier, California is ahead in several things sometimes, and there was an earlier exodus of some people and companies with the ability to work from home. And we had companies like Twitter saying, hey, you don't need to come back for work this year, you can work remote. Or, Facebook had some of those other things. So that certainly opened up this opportunity for really, Zoom towns and working remotely and making it okay for people to look at that for the future. The second part really is around, what happens when companies leave the Bay Area? That's just a small little blip. The amount of innovation that's going to continue to happen in Silicon Valley and San Francisco, it's going to continue to be the center of innovation and technology. And it has been really, if you go back even to the 60s and then through the 70s and 80s with hardware, and then more in the 90s with software. And that's not going to stop. I think, our infrastructure there, the education, the great weather year round, the natural beauty, the amount of space, the Bay Area and surrounding communities will always be in demand.
How's everything going with the universities now? I know that they're doing online classes still, right?
Yeah, so a lot of the different universities are doing online classes. I actually professionally am a professor. I moonlight as a professor at a
Oh, wow.
university teaching strategic business, and I've been teaching
Awesome.
for the last year. So
Awesome.
2 nights a week, it's all online. And there's a few universities that slowly have been looking to reopen. I don't think that it's going to really happen until maybe fall, and it's still questionable, how densely can those communities be, as far as dorms go and universities, but they are still, leading the way of how does online learning happen.
I'm always intrigued by that because I went to school when there was no online learning.
Yeah.
How is it as a professor? Do you like it better doing it online, or is it much more effective and better in the classroom? Obviously, it's nice to do it from your own home and not deal with traveling in. That's for sure. After a long day, I'd rather do it from home. But as far as the students go, and also for you, what's the differences?
Yeah, no, thanks. Good question. Definitely, it's beneficial that I'm not traveling to school, parking, walking to the classroom. That certainly is more efficient. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
For students, it's hard though, and to not be. It's just like all of us working together. Not having that opportunity to really bond together in person is tough. I would say that there's also a challenge, just like a work meeting, right? Real life is going on in the background, whether it's my dog coming in, whether it's somebody's phone going off, whether internet doesn't work. Even as the professor, when my internet does, it's terrible when all of a sudden class goes out and I'm off the screen and I disappear. So it's real challenges. We can't wait to get together again and have that time together.
When you do a virtual class, can they ask you questions? I guess they do it like we're doing this, right? They can ask you questions on Zoom. Is that how you do it?
Yeah. So we do breakout rooms, we do group meetings, question and answers. We try to have people engaged, not turn their cameras off. They could be lying in bed in class, or you got to get up and participate.
I mean, look, when I went to college, I would have loved to have a virtual class. I would have put the computer on and fallen asleep for like an hour, and then wake me up when the test day is. Maybe not that much, but I mean, I guess it's not the same experience. And in all seriousness, I do feel very bad for the kids because they don't have the same experience of a social interaction, which I think is the most important part of college, which they're hopefully going to get back really soon, because that social interaction makes all the difference in the world. So I definitely feel bad for them with that. So hopefully, and I know California's got the best universities in the world, and that's a big part of your economy. So, looking forward to hopefully having that back to you guys. And then one last thing you touched on with regards to Silicon Valley. Did you get some people that were moving out of San Fran? I'm sure you did, and you still do, to be in the single family homes an hour and a half away where it's a little more safe haven. You're probably getting some of those people, right, to your area.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And historically, 100 years ago plus, we were kind of a resort community in San Francisco, and that's how we were founded here in this area. So it's always had that second home connection. We definitely have always worked with second homes, and about 40% of our sellers or buyers, or 80% have some connection to the Bay Area. Whether it is a seller or a buyer, we end up having some relationship with that. As what happened, we did have a handful of sellers that decided not to sell and hold on to their second homes here, or third homes, because it was more of a safe haven and space, and that we are ideally positioned where it is close enough to the Bay Area where if you were living here full time, and people certainly have moved here full time, we've benefited from that. You could in the future get up to the Bay Area for a day or two if there was an important meeting. But what it really has done to our community and other around the country is, if we didn't have industry before, now industry is in people's houses, right? They've taken their jobs from around the country, and now they're able to do it in new communities. And so it certainly has beefed up our industry and potential home buying pool.
Are you seeing a lot of people come from Southern Cal also? From LA?
Yeah, we actually have more than normal this year. We did have that, and some of that had to do with the pandemic for sure. Southern California is a bit more, this is a generalization, but it's a bit more competitive as far as, a general area. We're about 6 hours north, just for geographical context.
Yeah.
And so I think people that have kept in that pace, this is a time in life where people took a second look at their lives and said, look, I'm not going to do that anymore. I want to go create this other life for myself and my family. And we did have quite a few people move up here this past year, and we'll continue to.
Yeah, people that are maybe planning on doing it down the road, but they moved that timeline up a few years.
Absolutely.
Because of COVID, seems like.
Absolutely.
Alvaro, back over to you. Question for you about South Florida. What do you foresee in terms of the most important thing people look for when they're relocating and looking for a property in South Florida? Obviously, I think waterfront, but also maybe school systems and things along those lines. What is the checklist that you see of items of most importance for people that are coming down to South Florida and making a move down here?
Well, location, you made it obviously clear, that one. I mean, everybody that is coming to South Florida is looking for relocation in terms of lifestyle, and when it comes to the property itself, it's like, what is it exactly that you want to be living? Because when people move to South Florida, they're thinking in terms of lifestyle, and depending on the buyer, is going to be a property that fits that type of lifestyle based on their location, based on whether they're coming with family or not. And I've seen a lot of individuals that come in here to, kind of like retire mode, move their businesses online here with family or without family, but majority waterfront, something that is not old, so kind of like brand new, that they have restaurants close by. I mean, people are craving being able to socialize. So yes, it's important to have your single family home, but still you want to be having it in a place where you're close by to the beach. So if you're looking for, let's say, your own space, you want to have a single family home. And we've seen a lot of people that in the checklist is like, okay, I want my space, my waterfront, a nice home, but also close to all the restaurants and what is going on. So Venetian Island, it's close by to South Beach, same thing with Palm and Hibiscus Island, North Bay Row, Lagos, South Point. So people want that space, and they crave also that socialization that you might not have in other places.
No, absolutely. And then in terms of hot markets that maybe were not hot areas from South Florida a couple of years ago that were not on people's radar, and now suddenly they are. Is there a few neighborhoods you can maybe name that are suddenly up and coming hot neighborhoods, or maybe neighborhoods that are a great investment that are going to be hot neighborhoods in the near future?
I mean, you mentioned Tom Brady. I mean, it's probably the billionaire's bunker, one of the most iconic neighborhoods. That was kind of sleeping. There were no sales in the past year, and barely one sale, and all of a sudden, boom, in a row. So we do see more and more trending when it comes to these hot neighborhoods in terms of super high-end properties, or at least opportunities to build something amazing. And it's because the celebrities and the billionaires are coming in here. So those are the neighborhoods. North Bay Row is another example. It's a neighborhood that before there was no that many transactions, and all of a sudden at the end of last year, we started to see a lot of transactions off market and in the market, and now we're still seeing a lot of movement. Now, if you look at, again, same thing when it comes to other neighborhoods that have single family homes, Venetian Island, yesterday or a few days ago, Ryan Hudson, the co-founder of Honey, the discount app, he bought a property there for 15 million. I'm sure he used his discount, right, to get some extra there. But so when we see people like that buying into these places, we see another wave of property owners wanting to sell their homes, and a lot of buyers wanting to jump into it, because that's where the eyes are in, So that's the domino effect. Yeah.
And then in terms of condos, I know condos kind of had a dip, but it seems like they're bouncing back a little bit. What's the situation with condos right now?
So you'll be surprised, because I mean, some of the iconic buildings that in the past we've seen some movement, last year was kind of dead, and now we're starting to see a huge demand, like the Apogee here in South Point. You know, I'm living close by. Now there is 3 pending deals of $7 to $8 million, a few others that just got sold recently. This is something that if we compare it to last year where there were 0 sales, it's like a huge increase, you know? And the same thing is happening with some other buildings where there were no activity whatsoever. And now we're starting to see more and more people getting into it. But again, same situation. When you look into one building, you know, like the Majestic, if you even go a little bit farther into Sunny Isle or Bal Harbor, you're gonna start seeing the same thing. Why? Because more families are coming down there. They're starting to look into condos. Why? Because it's more affordable. The communities are opening up. There is not this lockdown mentality in Miami. What before you were trying to avoid because the buildings were like super closed. Now it seems like Miami is leaving. So you want to be in a condo where even if it's not your home, your first home or your secondary home, it's something that you can buy, you stay there. If you leave, you just close it down and you leave. It's not the headache of having a single family home that might require more, you know, maintenance.
Yep. I think Leslie agrees with you. I think Leslie's going to agree on condos. I think Leslie is a condo fan. Am I correct, Leslie?
You're absolutely correct.
You're not into single family homes, I'm going to guess.
I'm all about the
In
condo.
Manhattan.
All about the condo.
Condos are great. Condos are great.
Yeah.
Great, and especially in New York, you don't have to go through the process.
Even better, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So Leslie, on that note, you're obviously seeing people coming back to condos as well. And you know, back over to you in terms of the Hamptons market. I know that market's been a little bit crazy. It's been the most successful it's ever been, and now it's I guess they don't have enough inventory, right? And so what do you see? I guess that's going to cause people coming back as well to the city, right?
Well, the Hamptons has been on fire. I mean, just
crazy.
incredible. It is
Crazy.
truly an anomaly. As soon as COVID hit, everybody ran to the Hamptons and buying in the Hamptons and renting in the Hamptons. I was actually trying to get a rental myself in the Hamptons, and it's only, let's say, January when I started, and so much is taken already.
Oh, you didn't do it?
For the case. People want to make sure that they have a place to go when June, you know, Memorial Day weekend, they want out.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, they usually have seasons. I mean, when I talk to them, it's like usually this is their off season, but they're just as busy now as they are in the summer.
Absolutely. No? The restaurants are all open. They're thriving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you went out there, you would actually think it was the summer. That's how busy it is.
And they're doing indoors?
Well, we have the indoor. They are doing indoor, but it's, I think we're 25% starting up. We have it, I think, on the 14th, and I think they've been at 50.
Okay. I'm going to talk about a subject that's not a great one for you, taxes, because I know a lot of people leave New York for Florida because of taxes. But I got to ask you the hard question. You can handle it. You can handle it. How is New York looking with regards to taxes moving forward to hopefully maybe keep people from leaving for that reason?
Well, look, that's the $1 million question, right? We don't really know. And I'm not going to venture a guess. But what I will say is, I think that the governor and the mayor and whoever the new mayor is coming in understands what it's going to take to keep people here, to keep companies here, and to make them want to stay in New York City. And it's really important to understand and to listen to what they're saying. Because, as you know, a lot of companies are going and opening offices in Florida and other places. And so, but the by and by is we're still getting our share. Amazon is here, Google is here. You know, it's not like everyone is leaving. The media plays that up, but that's truly not the case. No,
I would never think that. New York is always going to be on fire and be a very strong area and bounce back. I guess I just noticed that as a big reason that not just New York, let's be honest, the whole Northeast. I'm from DC, the same thing. Everyone claims they live half the year in Florida. So
that's always been the case, right?
So, you know, I mean, that's just how it is. But,
you know, I think that New York got a bad rap from the beginning because they were saying how everyone was fleeing New York. That's all you read in the media. And that really wasn't the case. I think, yes, there were a certain segment of people that were going, but perhaps they were going anyway. And this just moved their timeline up maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And now what I've noticed with my younger clientele and my middle-aged clientele, they're coming back.
Mhm.
They're coming back. The schools are opening up. They want to be in New York and they want to live here. They want to invest here. And I think that there's only one New York and this is it. And people realize that and they want to be here. Long term, this too shall pass. It's been a rough road, but business is great. I have to say, and I'm not being cliche, my business is really terrific. I don't want to give myself a curse, but it's
We believe
really
it.
true.
We believe it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not top 10 in Manhattan for that long, unless you're doing something right. So
You know
we're
what I'm
listening.
doing right? I
listening.
believe in what I say. And I believe in New York.
Mhm.
And to me, this is the town that I've been born into and the town I live in and the town I want to stay in for the rest of my life. And I love Florida. Don't get me wrong, Alvaro. I love Florida.
Get a second
And I
home
love New
down
York.
here.
I do love Carmel as well. I'd love to visit, but I'm a New York girl at heart. And this is where when people really live here and grind down, they realize how wonderful it is. And, you know, we're moving in a good direction. Very, very positive.
Is there any pockets of New York? I know for a long time Brooklyn was red hot and like, you know, doubling their values. Is there any areas that look to be kind of the next area within New York, that city that could be a hot area?
Well, it's interesting. What's hot changes from time to time, right? So what's hot, believe it or not, right now is Midtown and the Upper East Side. Downtown is still fairly expensive. I mean, there's discounts there as well and great value.
Mhm.
But for me, the best value has been the Upper East Side and Midtown, Midtown East, somewhat of Midtown West. We have a little bit more inventory here
Yeah.
and things are moving and people are recognizing that they can get a lot for their money in this particular area.
Yeah, so maybe that's an area that before they might not have looked at because it was too expensive. Now they can get a deal. Why live in, I'm not gonna say Brooklyn, but why live in Brooklyn when you can be on the Midtown or Upper East Side?
Exactly.
There's no reason to go to Brooklyn when you can get a great deal now on the Upper East Side.
And also what I'm finding is a lot of the younger people who before thought maybe the Upper East Side wasn't as cool as downtown. Well, now they're understanding that, guess what? The Upper East Side hosts great restaurants and great opportunities here as well. And they can always go downtown, take an Uber or a Lyft.
Yeah. Well, you know, New York still has old school cabs. You don't need an Uber in New York.
That's
right?
true. That's
you
true.
still have the old school cabs. Down in Miami, you don't see the cabs anymore. It's all Uber.
I know, I remember
But you
that.
guys still, it's almost easier sometimes in New York because it's so crowded. I'd rather just do a cab sometimes than an
Well,
Uber.
I'll tell you one thing I've learned during this COVID experience is to walk more. I'm walking all over New York and appreciating the architecture and appreciating people, just people watching.
Yeah, because
It's been a
there's
lot
more
of fun.
space to walk, right? Yeah.
There's so many places to go and walk and see. And so I walk from showing to showing, and it's been a very eye-opening, wonderful opportunity.
Hopefully not in the 12 inches of snow you weren't walking.
No, definitely not. Wrong girl.
All right, let's go back over to Mark. I'm just going to go around to everyone one last time. Mark, is there anything that you want to share with everyone? Any last thoughts that you want to share with the audience out there with regards to Carmel, Pebble Beach, the Peninsula, Monterey Peninsula, or anything else in particular?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, I guess one thing that just, it's always hard for people to understand when we talk about inventory shortages for us is that we don't actually have new developments at all. So unlike, you know, New York or Miami where you're building new buildings, we're not building new buildings. You know, it's like the houses that we have, the housing stock that we have is what we have. And so people always want new, you know, and they want it now. And we don't always have that. We have, you know, homes that need a remodel or homes that need an update. So anything that's, you know, a shiny and new product, you know, is really in demand right now. And that really helps. Another thing, just California based, that's kind of unique is that we did have a new proposition that went into effect Well, it was voted on in November and passed as Proposition 19, which is going to help free up some friction in the market, create some viscosity where people in California, we have earlier Proposition 13, that your property tax is the basis that you bought it at. So if you bought a house in 1980 for 200,000, which is now worth 2 million, your property tax every year was roughly, $2,200 a year. And if you bought a new house, your property tax for 2 million, the same house, it would be, $23,000 a year. So one thing that's changed is now if you're 55 and over, you'll be able to transfer your property tax basis up to 3 times. And that really helps when you think about somebody who doesn't have any income anymore, is actually looking to sell, but if they even downsized in their house, their tax basis would be too high. And so it was keeping people from selling and moving around. And that's going to help open things up. And that really goes into effect April 1st.
Okay, terrific. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere yet. We're not done. We still got those guys talking, but
Yeah, no, thank you.
I'm not great at golf. I shoot about 100 usually, but I would love to come out there sometime and play golf. I play it very well in the virtual reality games that you play. The Pebble Beach course, I've actually done well on that. Golden tee at the arcade games.
There you go.
Alvaro, over to you here, just down the street in South Florida. Would love any last thoughts that you have with regard to South Florida Market Super Luxury Group, or anything that you want to talk about with the audience before we go.
Yes, I mean, I wanted to share with you, and I saw a few questions that, anonymous people put into this panel, but in regards on what will be a recommendation for new luxury agents that are getting into the industry. And the reality is that with real estate being so hot in general, not just here in South Florida, but as a general rule, I believe that more and more people are getting into this game. And the only way that you will actually succeed is not even by having all this experience and years in the market. You need to start adapting, and there's now more and more tools that are available for all of us. So one of the things that I've experienced the most, which I always find it very interesting, is that some of the properties that we've sold last year and even this year has been virtually, through Zoom calls, through FaceTime. And even like people on Instagram Live started to get excited about it. You do like a fun way of exposing a property, and then you start, bringing that to the next level. So my suggestion will be always to be up to date on the platforms that are coming up. Right now, there is a very hot platform called Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys are on it or not, but
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So Clubhouse right now, it's an addiction. I spend so many hours per day on it, and it's crazy because this platform is basically a way of communicating about a specific topic via audio. So you get into a room of like-minded individuals to discuss a topic. You can bring other guests. It's only by invitation only, so not everybody has access to Clubhouse. Yeah. But it's been really crazy to see how you can position yourself as somebody of legitimate credibility in a specific market among superstars. Like this morning with the CMO of Walmart, with NFL star that won the championship and Super Bowl twice. I mean, we've been with so many great panelists in this platform. So my recommendation and just thought to share with the audience is that get into these platforms, get out of the comfort zone, and you're going to start connecting with people that are going to leverage your business 10x.
Awesome. Well, great stuff. Thank you very much. Always enjoyable talking with you and seeing you, and great insight across the board. Thank you very much, Mr. Bond. Mr. Nuñez Bond. Leslie, there we go.
Here we go.
I love it.
Where we going?
Back over to the very busy Leslie Modell, whose phone is off the hook right now with deals coming in. Where the phone's ringing.
I took my phone off. I don't know why it's ringing.
Leslie can't. The demand is up. The demand is high.
New York is capping.
Yeah. So, any last thoughts for you? I know you've already given us a lot of amazing and very positive thoughts with regards to New York City, which is great. Any last insight you want to give to everyone out there with regards to Leslie Modell or New York City or anything else that you want to let everyone know about?
All I would say is this. I think that if you're in the market, this is the right time to buy in New York. This is the right time to purchase in Manhattan. I've been in this business almost 20 years, and I have never seen the market so fantastic for a buyer as this particular market. And I've ridden every market, ups and downs. And I highly encourage all the buyers out there to really take this opportunity and to go and come back to New York and buy something, either, first time home buyer or somebody that wants to upgrade into a more luxury property. And the truth of the matter is, whatever you lose on one end, you're going to make it up on the next. So it's kind of like the seesaw, right? You might lose a little as a seller, and then you're going to gain it all back as a buyer. So to buy and sell in this market is the way to go. And I have a lot of clients right now that are doing that and taking advantage of a market that they probably won't see again for a very, very long time.
A great time to buy in New York City, and you don't have the same inventory problems as some of the other guys. So that's a big plus for you right now, is that inventory is there to make it happen. So
in that midstream end, there is some inventory shortages. It's not like there's 1,000 properties at a certain price point. So certainly for the first time home buyer, lots of opportunity, lots of inventory. And then once you get into the 3, 4, 5 bedrooms, less inventory, but certainly no less an opportunity to get back in here and buy the apartment of your dreams. And call me.
Well, yeah, clearly people are calling you. I mean, your phone is like, you're off the charts right now. I wish my phone rang that much. I'm doing outgoing calls. I'm not even getting any incoming calls.
Well, what can I say?
You just showed, obviously things are up and up in New York with the phone ringing. So
that's right. The phone says it all.
The phone says it all, no doubt, no doubt. And you're old school, no text, call. No text. No,
I text all day long.
Yeah.
I'm an equal opportunity person. I text, I email, and I'm constantly on the phone.
Zoom, yeah. All right.
Zoom, FaceTime. And just as an aside, Alvaro's right about what he was saying about social media. I truly feel that social media has taken my business to the next level.
I've been using it a lot. Yeah.
And I use it a lot. And anyone that's trying to come into this business has to understand that social media is where it's at. It gives you that kind of full impact image that you need to start in a business where it might be challenging, but once you get your face out there, to coin, I think it was Alvaro, the domino effect. That's what it is.
Domino effect.
That's right.
I'm going to remember that, the domino effect.
Domino effect.
All right. On that note, we're going to have to wrap it up, but thank you so much, Leslie, Mark, Alvaro. You guys have been amazing from coast to coast. We look forward to hopefully doing this again soon. This has been on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and we're going to have a YouTube video. That's the whole event that we'll publish and we'll send to you guys as well. I'll connect the 3 of you guys on an email, and we really loved having you guys. You've been terrific. Leslie, hopefully it doesn't snow anymore. Yeah.
If not, I'll head on down to Florida.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. We'd love to have you here anytime.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks,
Take care. Thanks, Eric. Great job.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.